I, 28 female, have been married to my husband Cam, 32, for 2 years, and we've been together for 4 in total. He was a friend of my older brother, so I've known him even longer. Cam and I decided to try for a baby, and I'm currently 20 weeks with our first. When we told my mother-in-law the news, she first mentioned that every woman in the family had a son before they had a daughter, so she thought the baby would be a boy. Cam and I told her we didn't care what we were having, we just wanted a happy and healthy child. Well, I'm having a girl, and we informed my mother-in-law of this earlier in the evening. Cam and I weren't on board with the idea of a huge, dramatic gender reveal, so we just decided to go with casual announcements. Mother-in-law immediately seemed upset at this, and she told me that next time I needed to try harder to give my husband a son. I laughed and said I didn't really have much choice in the matter, so if and when we have another child, there's nothing I could do to make sure we had a boy then either. She said it was a fault on my end because she had a boy first. She had all boys. And all of her other sons' wives had boys first, so that meant I was the odd one out. Cam told his mom that he didn't care about having a son or not, and that she needed to stop blaming me for something that couldn't possibly be my fault. Still, she started getting on to him about how he should want a child that can carry on the family name instead of a daughter that will just be given away. The whole thing was ridiculous. So I told her that once she looked into getting a refresher course and reading up on basic biology she should have learned in the 6th grade, she's free to give me a call and apologise for being ridiculous. My husband and I left after that, and in the car he said that while he understood my frustration, he didn't appreciate me speaking to his mother like that because I implied that she was an idiot. I told him that I didn't appreciate how she spoke to me and that he should be upset on our daughter's behalf since his mom seems to think less of our child before she's even been born. The rest of the car ride was silent. Honestly, we hadn't talked since returning home. He did defend me to her, so I know he's on my side, but I know he wouldn't have brought up the way I spoke to her unless he thought it was out of line. I feel like a bit of an idiot now, and I'm not sure if I should apologise to her or not. Not the idiot. As one of 2 daughters, tell your husband he needs to step up now because this will not be the last time someone outright says he should want a boy and that daughters are worthless. That's what your mother said. Daughters get given away. Your daughter can have any name she wants, have any career she wants, and choose who her family will be. This is a hill to wage war on. Mama, bear up. Your daughter needs you. Mother-in-law is talking like a British monarch in the 1800s. It's always interesting how families with a culture like girls are worthless, men must pass on the family name, have nothing going for them. Like there is nothing incredible about their genes besides how full of themselves they are. You can't imply someone is an idiot after they've already outed themselves as one. OP, you are not rude, and it's true. If she knew basic biology, she would know that the male's part determines the gender of the baby. There is nothing a woman can do. You probably hit a sore spot for your mother-in-law and your husband when you pointed out she was uneducated. She's trying to make you feel inadequate that you couldn't give them a grandson, which is out of line. Honestly, I wouldn't have been as nice as you. I would have brought out some Google, made sure the text was in large font, and showed her the science. At this rate, I hope you have all girls. LOL. My fiancé's sister and her husband came over for dinner last night. They have a very young daughter, Emily. Some background. Emily is a very curious girl who loves to play and explore and play dress-up. I have a pretty nice clothing shoe collection I showed Emily one of the first times she came over. Since then, I've let Emily borrow many items of my clothing to try on for fun and put on fashion shows. I was completely okay with it until this summer, when Emily asked to try on a pair of my expensive heels. This was partially my fault. I said yes, but couldn't monitor the entire time because I was busy preparing food for a lunch party I was setting up. I thought her parents were watching her since they saw her put them on, but no. I came back to check in on her 20 minutes later, and she cut one of the bows off the shoes and was in the process of cutting off the other one. I was horrified and immediately stopped her, resulting in a huge tantrum. Her parents rushed in and asked what happened, and she said she didn't like the look of the bows and wanted them off, so she found scissors from my office, which she wasn't supposed to go into at all. I was extremely upset and had to excuse myself to calm down. Afterward, my fiancé's sister and husband apologised and seemed really sorry, but they never offered to pay for the cost of repair. My fiancé, unbeknownst to me at the time, had then reached out to his sister to ask her to either buy me a new pair or pay for the repair. After a week, I got a random text from his sister asking me if I'd like them to pay for the cost of repair. I declined because it sounded like she was forced to send the text. Fast forward to last night. It's their family's first time seeing us after the engagement, which happened 3 weeks ago. Yay. It was Emily's first time seeing the ring, so she kept asking me to show her, and I did multiple times. Finally, after dinner, we were all sitting on the couch, and Emily asked to see the ring again, except this time, she asked if she could try it on. I was expecting my fiancé's sister to intervene immediately and tell her that wasn't appropriate, but she said nothing and just laughed. I was personally uncomfortable with the idea of her trying it on because, 1, the ring is very personal to me and very expensive, and 2, I was still slightly scarred after the shoe incident and worried about something like that happening again. I basically said something like, "Oh, this ring is very dear to me and I would like to keep it on my finger, but I can give you one of my other rings to try on if you'd like." She said no and asked again. I repeated myself. She started getting teary, and that's when her mom intervened and said, "Oh, come on, let her just try it on for a second. She's not going to break the damn thing." I was getting annoyed at this point, so I just said, "I'd prefer not to." Cue awkward silence. Then her husband says, "Well, we should get going." But before they went out the door, my fiancé's sister said, "Well, now I get why you two don't want children. It's probably better off for everyone." I was immediately shocked by this absurd statement, and my fiancé said, "That was uncalled for." She said, "It's just the truth," and rolled her eyes, and they all left. Now my fiancé is refusing to speak to his sister and has told me we will not have her back again, and everyone's just overall upset. My fiancé doesn't blame me, but I can't help but think that maybe I should have acted differently. Am I the problem here? Not the idiot. A little child does not need to be trying on engagement rings. No one needs to try on someone else's engagement ring or wedding ring for giggles, regardless of age. Engagement wedding ring is personal because of their sentimental value. Look, don't touch. I'm honestly appalled at her parents' reaction, especially after what happened with the shoes. You shouldn't have to worry that anything else you have will be damaged or destroyed because his sister doesn't respect your belongings. It's not the girl's fault. Kids don't understand, but her mother certainly does, and she's the one who lacks respect for you and your belongings. She almost seems to like watching your things get damaged, and what she said to you was a way to retaliate against you for not letting her daughter put on your ring. She's not a nice person. Next, she'll want to try on her wedding veil and rip it. After that, I wouldn't invite any of them to the wedding. That kid sounds spoiled, and the parents clearly cannot be bothered to explain healthy boundaries to their daughter. Kudos to your fiancé for standing up for you. You picked a good egg. Also, the irony of a woman who doesn't watch her kid or teach her to respect others' belongings looking down on a woman who has far better parental skills than her is hilarious. My male 33 parents are deceased. I have a younger sister, 25, who's married and is expecting. I'm also married but don't have kids due to health issues on both sides. I'd visit and check on my sister from time to time. I'm not on great terms with her husband, 33, but we're civil to each other. She started calling and asking for my help more often since she got pregnant. I have no issue with this, but my brother-in-law thinks I'm being too involved in my sister and the baby's life. Last week I got a call from my sister asking if I could take her to the doctor office. It was a gender reveal appointment. I asked why her husband didn't take her, and she explained that he was supposed to drive her, but he had to attend his mom's birthday and asked her to reschedule, but she refused. I took her to the appointment, but brother-in-law called and was furious, saying I shouldn't have gotten involved because now I caused him a precious moment in finding out if he was going to have a girl or a boy. Basically, I took this experience away from him and called me weird for being too involved in my sister's marriage and sticking my nose in it to the point where I made the doctor think I was her husband. I told him the doctor thought I was her husband because of his absence and lack of commitment as a father. He blew up at me and I hung up on him. My wife said she gets that I want to help my sister out, but said that I might have gone too far and should have respected brother-in-law's boundaries. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He blew up on you because he prioritized his mommy's birthday visit over his wife's appointment for his child's gender reveal. Lack of commitment as a father is one way to put it. I call it an entitled, spoiled mama's boy. I pity your sister for having a husband like that. She'll soon have 2 children to take care of. Good on you for being a great big brother. I can tell you're going to be a great uncle too. Keep it up. Your sister is going to need you. More than that, he sounds like an idiot who wants to isolate her from her family. He calls the brother weird for being too involved with his sister so that he can make the brother pull away from the sister. He just got lucky she doesn't have parents she can rely on, so isolating her is easier. He had to attend his mom's birthday and asked her to reschedule, but she refused. How did these two events, scheduled months in advance, end up overlapping? I'm just confused as to why the mother-in-law decided to have a birthday party sometime Monday to Friday before 5 p.m, because those are typical working hours for a clinic where ultrasounds would be done. I bet the mother-in-law's celebration was last minute. If a dude can't cut the cord by the time he's 30, he will continue to have dysfunctional romantic relationships for a very long time. It's admirable to stay close to family in a healthy way, but this ain't it. So my niece Carmen had a tween birthday last week. A few months ago, she texted me that she would like a pair of Nikes for her birthday, which cost around $150, so I budgeted $150 for it. 3 weeks ago, she called me and asked, instead of the Nikes, can I split her gift so that she and her neighborhood friend Conan could both have something? Carmen and Conan share a birthday and are best friends. Conan's mother told him ahead of time she probably wouldn't be able to get him a birthday present this year due to having to prioritize car repairs, so Carmen wanted to share her gift so that he wouldn't have nothing on his birthday. I asked her if she was sure and she said yes. So I asked what she would like and she said she and Conan really wanted some Crocs. Apparently Crocs and charms are all the rage in their school nowadays, so I got sizes, favorite colors and whatnot. I got to work, I was able to get 2 pairs of Crocs, 2 pairs of Croc flip-flops and 2 packs of anime Croc charms, all for under $120, thanks to stacked coupons and sales. I even threw in some anime hoodies and only went over budget by $7, which isn't bad. I should note that my sister, Carmen's mother, is low income and they live in low income housing, so my gift is usually the big ticket item and my sister always gets something much smaller. That being said, I also don't make a lot of money, so I didn't want to just get some Crocs. I wanted to stretch that $150 as far as it would go. Their birthday comes and I gift them to them, and they are ecstatic, super happy. I spent like 45 minutes talking about all the different charms and the characters from shows. I happily listened while they chatted and talked, and then we had takeout that I ordered and cupcakes prepared by Conan's mom, and we watched anime all day. It also turned out that Conan's mom did manage to get both kids something small that Conan picked out for both of them. They both said it was the best birthday ever, LMAO. Conan's mother took me aside privately, profusely thanked me and said she'll pay me back as soon as possible. I tell her no need because this was a gift from Carmen to Conan, not from me. I asked her to just be good to my niece when she comes around. She asked if she can thank me by cooking dinner, so I'll be coming over for dinner sometime. Later that day, my sister sees the gift and is irate. She'd planned for me to buy Carmen the Nikes as her school shoes and is upset with me because Crocs aren't real shoes. I asked if they were not allowed to wear Crocs to school and she said they were. So I said she could just wear them to school. It doesn't seem like a big deal to me. The kids are happy and had a great birthday. That's all that should be important. She absolutely disagrees and is still upset with me days later. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your niece will probably need sneakers for gym class or colder months, but that's not your responsibility. If your sister was hoping you'd provide Nikes, she should have told you so, and even then it wouldn't be an obligation. I think what you did was excellent. OMG, I'm really impressed with Carmen and she's the real hero here. Not all kids would sacrifice for others in this way. She picked up these great values from OP and Conan's mom. Or maybe it's just innate. It doesn't seem like the mom taught her this since she's fixated on expensive sneakers. Get a utility pair on sale for $30 and be proud of your kid. Don't ruin the joy of this generous act. Yesterday was my wife's birthday and I gave her a new board game. For background, we have a toddler girl and we just had a baby, and she's been a little down, but she's taking medication for it. We were popping out the pieces after we got home from buying the game, and my wife asked me to please stop and that she wanted us to do it later so our toddler doesn't mess with it or lose pieces, as it's a game she really wanted, and it was a little expensive. I figured I might as well keep going as we weren't doing anything at that moment anyway. She asked me to stop again, but I was halfway through doing it. Our daughter was busy with a new toy, but then came over and started messing with the pieces. I started to tell her to stop, but my wife said, "Fine, if you're going to be popping them out around her, you may as well let her help as it's going to be double the work trying to stop her from helping." So our toddler helped me get things set up. We didn't end up playing that night, but we played tonight, and a piece was pretty much broken from my daughter ripping it. My wife was pretty upset at her new game being messed up before we ever played, not at our daughter but at me for putting the game up around our toddler. I reminded her she said it was fine if our toddler helped. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Are you seriously that dense? She clearly told you not to put the game together around your toddler. That's when your toddler starts to screw up her new game. She's exasperated that you didn't listen to her and tells you that you might as well keep going and screwing up her game because you've already started. Read the room better next time because it's clear what your wife was telling you. I was already doing it and I wanted to keep doing it, so I just ignored what my wife wanted to be done with her gift. Imagine you had something you were really looking forward to and was pretty expensive. Board games can average $50 to $120. You got it as a gift, but before you had a chance to open it, someone else opened the plastic, started touching it and setting it up and dropping parts and wouldn't stop when you asked. Seriously, OP, I get that a board game is something you play together, but it wasn't yours. And honestly, you need to start looking for a replacement part or replace the game. You should have waited until she was ready and considered her feelings instead of casually dismissing her and doing what you wanted. She was right that you shouldn't do it and something got damaged 100% because of you. Question: do you normally gaslight her and ignore her feelings in other aspects of your marriage? Your post is just a long victim-blaming way of you justifying being a jerk. Geez, you sound like a great and supportive husband.